One of my favorite parts of the day is working in the garden. This is where I get to really be myself, just relax and take care of my plants. I love to listen to the birds and natural sounds, and this is the place where I really reconnect with nature. One of the things I've been doing recently is pollinating my tomatoes, and I use an electric toothbrush to help increase pollination. Right now we've been having some wonderful weather and the fruit has been setting very well. So I'm going to keep this up until the Texas heat really sets in. That's when the flowers stop. And hopefully we'll have baskets full of juicy tomatoes soon. I have about 18 plants squeezed into this little raised bed. I have a mixture of sauce potatoes and larger tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. So I'm hoping I'll get a lot of tomatoes this year. In the past, I've struggled with blight with my tomatoes and not had them produce as well. So this year I've been doing a few things to help reduce blight in my garden. And one of those things is increased hygiene, making sure that the bottom of the plants are pruned, which I'll be doing here in a second. Right now I am tying them up onto the stakes to keep them out of the way, and so that you don't have big branches falling out onto the ground or blocking walkways. And I like to prune the leaves around the bottoms of the plants because not only does this increase airflow, but it prevents leaves from touching the soil and getting bacteria from the soil splashing up onto the leaves. So I work pretty diligently to keep the bottoms of my plants pruned. And this is basically what I do for maintenance for my tomatoes. I also fertilize them with fish fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, about every 2 weeks. So something I also noticed when I was working in the garden is that some of my roses are starting to bloom. I have buds on a few of them and they smell wonderful. I'm so excited to see how they look. I'm also currently harvesting broccoli and cauliflower. I have a few that are close to being harvested. We've already harvested a few. And I've unfortunately been struggling a lot with cabbage moth. Last year they decimated my seedlings in the fall. So I thought this year maybe I would try growing them in the spring, and that worked really well, especially when they were small because the cabbage moths weren't out. But now the cabbage moths are out and they're eating the plants like crazy, but since they're bigger, they're able to handle it a little bit better. And something I'm also doing daily is watering my seeds that I just planted. So I'm not watering all of my plants, I'm just watering the seeds, and then I run the drip irrigation system for the whole garden about twice a week. And the reason why I do this is when you have little seeds planted or new seedlings, you really want to water them by hand to make sure they're getting enough water. As they get bigger, the roots spread out and they can survive on drip irrigation. Now here I am working on my grapevine, and this is just one grape plant. So it's taking over the whole entire fence. It's like 20 feet long and it's loaded with grapes. So as a preventive measure, I'm putting bags, little mesh bags, over top of all the grapes, just to protect them from the birds. I'm a little concerned about the birds eating all my grapes. They've done that with some of my other fruit plants. So I'm going through and bagging all the clusters of grapes. Some of the clusters were kind of stuck behind the trellis, in between the trellis and the fence. So I couldn't get all the clusters, but I tried to really get most of them. And unfortunately, when I was trying to bag one of my grape clusters, I broke the whole cluster off. So that was an oops, but it was also a learning experience, and I was a lot more careful with the other grape clusters when I was trying to bag those. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these grapes turn out. Last year we had a few clusters, but they never turned red. They just stayed green. And so I'm not sure if we were given the wrong plant or not, because when I got this plant, it said it was supposed to be a red table grape. So we'll see. We'll wait and see if they turn red or not. I hope you enjoyed going along with me on my daily garden routine. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.